It's a many splendid thing. Justin Bieber suggests we should do it to ourselves, and I say to Justin Bieber, calm down, son. You're still young, don't rip it off. Some of the greatest number ones have been about it. No, not Milkshake and The Strange Way it has of beckoning boys to the yard. Of course I'm talking about love. Much like the Kardashians, love is one of life's great mysteries. 1 minute you're in it, the happiest you've ever been in your entire life, and the next you're weeping into your Weetabix, wondering how things could have gone so wrong. If only you'd put the toilet seat down when you were done. According to the Beatles, all you need is love, and of course they're right, if you discount oxygen and a head. Wet, 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 those erudite Scottish poets, once suggested that love is all around, and then went on to suggest it for 15 weeks in a row. Until they were finally toppled by the well-known multi-album phenomenon Wakefield. It was Shakespeare who said, the course of true love never did run smooth, which suggests that he too accidentally left the toilet seat up on occasion. Aristotle's idea of love is somewhat creepier. Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting 2 bodies, like Jedwood. The aptly named Samuel Lover once said, "Come live in my heart and pay no rent," which is all fine and dandy if your heart's not a scabby bedsit above a lawnmower shop in Bilston. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to enthrall you with stories of love-infused horror. When you leave here, you won't know whether to buy a bunch of flowers or throw yourself in the canal. Welcome one and all to Southcart's Valentine's Day Massacre.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming for our unnormal Valentine's event. You know, we don't like doing things normal. Got some great new faces here. Great to see you all, and I hope you have a great day. And as always, free food, free drink, free stories, and free fear.
Okay, you're in for a bit of a treat now. Not just one treat, 2 treats, like a Kinder Egg and a chocolate with his little toy. We have C.L. Raven.
Obviously, St. Valentine, he's the patron saint of lovers, but he was beaten with clubs and beheaded, which is not exactly a romantic plot that you'd find in Mills and Boone stories. But how do people celebrate this day? With heart-shaped chocolates, a good restaurant meal, and flowers from a petrol station forecourt. So the day's become a cliche, but society doesn't really consider giving your lover a severed head romantic. And if you give someone a teddy holding a real heart, you know, that never features on the gifts for her list. So in 2010 we decided to return Valentine's Day to its bloody beginning, and the Blacklist was born. And then in 2011 a horror anthology wanted anti-Valentine stories, so we wrote Till Death Us Do Part. It got rejected, but it gave us a taste for ruining Valentine's, and we decided to release an anti-Valentine's trilogy with those 2 stories and a new one. And we stupidly decided to do this a month before Valentine's. So we had to write a new story, change the ending 3 times, and learn everything there was to learn about self-publishing, formatting, like cover art and everything in 1 month. And so people loved the idea of ruining Valentine's, so then we wrote a trilogy of trilogies. So the following year we released Bad Romance, and then a year later we released the final one, Romance is Dead. And then some people wanted it in print, so year after we brought the 3 out in 1 book, Romance is Dead. And but we wrote a bonus story to go with it as well. So it was a sad moment because we love ruining Valentine's, and that was the last time we got to do it. And then Scott asked us 3 today, so we get to do it again. So we've got a short extract from each of the stories that feature in there. So the first one, Kiss of Death. Jamie realises her boyfriend is a loser, and the only thing she likes about him is his touch. She tries dating, but finds that each man only has one good thing about them. So she decides she can create the perfect man, using only the good parts of her lovers. Dante wasn't the best boyfriend. In fact, he was a terrible boyfriend. Sometimes I wouldn't hear from him for days. Other times he'd phone me daily and we'd talk for hours. He'd stay over when he wanted, but if I invited him, he'd fob me off with how tired he was or how work was getting him down. He'd brush me off to go out with his mates and then spend the weekend hungover and moaning to me how shitty he felt. He never invited me. I wasn't sure whether it was a jealousy thing or if he was ashamed of me. Maybe he was worried mates would think I was out of his league. But when he touched me, I didn't care. I'll see you, I don't know, when I'm free. If you just want me for sex, you can put $1,000 on the dressing table when you leave. He laughed. Babe, if I had $1,000, I'd go to Amsterdam with the boys. I grabbed the dagger off the wall and plunged it into his heart. His eyes widened with disbelief and pain. Don't act like you never saw it coming. I stabbed him again, just so he knew how it felt to be knifed in the heart. Down to his pale, scarlet streaked body lay tangled in sheets like a twisted artist's macabre masterpiece. His mouth, which had gasped in erotic ecstasy, was fixed in silent scream. His heart, which moments ago had raced with the intensity of our passion, was as still as his sculptures. I'd made a horrible mistake. I should have killed him in the shower. Then I wouldn't have to clean up. I was furious. The blood had splattered my lingerie. It was new and handwash only. A dreadful thought occurred. The website I'd bought the dagger from made me tick the box stating it's for decorative purposes only. I'd breached their terms and conditions. The second story is Till Death Us Do Part, and it has the only returning character, Trey. Trey doesn't want to be alone on Valentine's, but his lovers always leave him. So he found a way to make them stay, killing them. But they had a tendency to rot, so he uses his skill as a facial reconstruction artist to recreate them and mount their heads on mannequins. His new boyfriend, Sol, has no idea who Trey keeps in the locked room until he finds the key. Cold sunlight slit through the windows like an intruder, its blazing gaze unashamedly spying on our entangled bodies. I rode out of bed, padding down to the kitchen. I made breakfast, carefully arranging it on the tray. I fetched a small black box from the drawer, positioning it beside the cereals. When nerves tingled, Judgment Day. I carried the tray upstairs. Sol sat up, squinting. Morning, handsome. I kissed him. Happy Valentine's Day. Seeing as my present's at home, you'll have to have my heart instead. I'll put it in a jar on the shelf with the others. I want my own shelf. Get rid of the others. They couldn't love you as much as me. Or they'd be here, not pickled in jars. He was right. Their demise was their own fault. I relinquished the tray, climbing into bed. Sol picked up the black box. It won't bite. Open it. Sol grinned. A silver ring nestled in the black velvet. He freed it. The key hung from it, swinging like a condemned man. You can stay every night, I smiled. Or I can just take your heart. I touched it. It fluttered like I was its puppet master, making it dance. My heart drummed against my ribs like an execution announcement. Sweat prickled my upper lip. I reached under my pillow, the blade kissing my fingers with fatal promises. Lucio received the same present. I remembered the shock in his eyes. 1 month was long enough to know I wanted to spend eternity with him, but it wasn't long enough for Lucio. Mannequin number 2. I got my own way in the end. Whatever Sol said, he wasn't leaving me. The third one, The Black Kiss, is about a reincarnation of Saint Brynwen, who is the Welsh patron saint of lovers. Actually, like Valentine, she was raped by her boyfriend, so yeah, nice patron saint there. On Saint Brynwen's Day, men would carve love spoons for their sweethearts. But our Brynwen doesn't protect lovers. She punishes unfaithful ones with a love spoon. His weakened body trembles beneath mine, his salty sweat teasing my tongue. His naive vulnerability heightens my enjoyment. In this moment, he's mine. He'll surrender to my every fantasy if I ask. I've no intention of asking. I use my body as a weapon, inflicting unbearable pleasure on him. I lean close, skin on skin, the fruity scent of my fragrance entwining with the tangy lime of his shower gel. His kisses are hungry, his tongue flickering over my upper lip. You unsexy goddess, he murmurs, his tongue gliding up the sensitive skin between my breasts. I wish Samantha was as kinky as you. He rattles the handcuffs that chain him to my bed. I nibble his lower lip, smiling as he succumbs to the ecstasy my body promises him. Our hearts beat together as the passion gently fades. Did Samantha enjoy her Valentine's cliché? I ask, sweeping my hair back, my plaits tickling my bare shoulders. She loved it. I snuck out when she fell asleep. I glance at the clock. Not yet midnight. I smile teasingly, my fingers tracing around his heart. Responds eagerly, pounding my name, desperate to belong to me. You're my reward for good behaviour. Good boys don't fool their girlfriends with cheap gifts and slip out for hot sex with goddesses. Then it's a good job you only like bad boys. I smile, but really it's the thought of what's about to come that arouses me and makes my heart race. Here's my present. You hate Valentines. You promised me your heart. Would you like it gift wrapped? No, just beaten. knows who Cupid is, but the Cupid in our next story, My Bloody Valentine, is sick of being depicted as a fat, naked baby. He's the Roman god of love. Except he's not very good at his job. It's not his fault people died. Love kills. And if he doesn't make a good match, his Greek cousin Eros will take his place as the face of Valentine's. What's this week's cause? Heart attack? I swore and faced my boss, conscience, and regular pain in my codpiece. Her arms are folded across her short PVC jacket. I think she'd picked her expressions from Gurney's Digest. This month's issue came with complimentary wrinkle cream. Not unless there's a rare side effect of face melting. Perhaps he's allergic to lead, I retorted. Maybe I've shot him before. Too much love can kill you. He was supposed to shed his clothes, not his skin. It wasn't my fault. You shot him. I've shot millions of people. How many of them died? 5 this week. I'm helping funeral directors during the recession. Their makeup artist needs overtime. What about Mr. X? You turned him into an obsessed stalker. All stalkers are obsessed. It's their thing. It's like he shot a glacier river and I swear the trees died. I'll cure him. Like you cured Mr. A? That was regrettable. He took a shop full of people hostage, then threw himself off the roof, turning himself and his one into 3D pavement art because you forgot to shoot her too. Ducked! It's in the accident report. You'd better regain your spark or they'll hire Eros. I swore so loudly I frightened dinosaurs. Mr. I'm so hot I model underwear. Try using golden arrows. Maybe those won't kill them. Lead's cheaper. The potion must be past its sell-by date. Or perhaps it's the paint. I examined the red arrow. I wanted something Valentine-y. She barged past me. Your death toll is rivaling the local serial killers. This is your last chance, Cupid, or the next one shot in the heart will be you. Still Life is the second story with Trey. He's taken his obsession with mannequins further and is now using them in an art exhibition on the theme of love. Except they aren't mannequins, they're real people, and they're still alive. I'm a collector. I collect memories, fleeting passages of time that are beautiful, like a butterfly before it flutters away. But I also capture the memories, like a living photograph, and I keep them forever. They don't notice me, the artist, photographing the way the sun filters through the trees, creating monsters from harmless shadows, photographing birds, flowers, dogs playing, families, a kissing couple sitting on their coats near the woods, his fingers sliding under her top to stroke her breast when he thinks nobody's watching. Her fingers inching towards his groin as they tease each other with what they want but can't have. They don't notice me. They never do. Some people are meant to stand out. Others are meant to blur into the background like a good depth of field to help the focus of life's image to shine. She laughs softly as his fingers explore higher. Her blouse moves as he cups her breast, stroking it with his thumb. She slides her hand between his legs, smiling seductively as she caresses him when no one can see. Their lips meet in a bruising encounter. Do you want to go somewhere private? He murmurs against her neck. She nods and they venture into the woods. A shiver of excitement ripples through me. They don't know what fate awaits them with prying eyes can't see. I follow, taking random photos. His hand strays to her backside and he pulls her towards him and kisses her. She smiles wickedly and guides his hand into the front of her skirt, laughing as his fingers explore her. I take their photo and ease 2 syringes out of my pocket. Kill the Bride takes till death us depart, literally. After discovering her new husband cheated on her, the bride confronts him, only for him to kill her with their cake knife. But her fury is too powerful for death to contain, and she returns to seek revenge on other cheating newlyweds. Until death us depart. Scarlet blossoms brush the white satin, caressing the folds of my reddened dress, before falling at my feet like the scattered petals of a dying rose. My hands slip off the bloody knife handle. Disbelief, shock and pain weaken my body. I stare into his eyes. Those aren't the eyes I thought I knew. I used to see them twinkle when he laughed. Now I see my own reflection. His gaze is as empty and cold as an abandoned crypt, his heart dead inside the mausoleum of his chest. Why? Surely an annulment is cheaper than a funeral. I didn't want to cancel your expensive wedding. You've been so excited about it. Stabbing me is much kinder. I've been screwing Lucy for weeks. I'm taking her on our honeymoon. I cough, blood trickling down my chin. Lucy, my chief bridesmaid, my best friend. I'd laugh at the cliche, but the knife we'd used to cut our cake has just been driven through my heart. Strangely, I'm worried the jam will stain my dress. The only place you're going is hell. Send me a postcard. Hatred and rage burn through my veins, resurrecting me from today's dreamlike state. My perfect wedding bleeding into my darkest nightmare. Why should I die because he's a lying, cheating whore? I wrenched the knife from my chest, screaming as blood gushes from my open wound, splashing the red and black roses of my bouquet. Blood droplets fall like tears onto the petals. I'd worried about spending hundreds on a dress I would only wear once. Now I'll be wearing it for eternity, complete with everlasting bloodstain. I doubt they have dry cleaners in the afterlife, but at least it matches my colour scheme. My miserable romance tells the story of Aphrodite. Once the goddess of love, she's now reduced to being the relationship agony aunt of a local paper. How the mighty fall. If only she could sort out her own love life.
But her ex Ares won't take no for an answer, even though she can't forgive him for chopping off Adonis's penis. The love for revenge hasn't sated over the centuries, and she curses beautiful women while plotting to regain her goddess crown.
The heart-bunting swayed of the gust of wind that stalked Ares inside.
Did you have sex with that mortal?
He boomed. I hid behind my newspaper. Keep it down, I snapped. The relationship agony aunt bickering with her ex over a one-night stand will ruin my career. Career, he sat, snorting like an angry minotaur. I swear to Zeus, his nostrils flared. Gods fought over you. You started the Trojan War because you turned Paris into a lustful kidnapper, cursed the Gorgons of Snakehair because you were jealous of their beauty, and had Adonis's mother transformed into a tree because her mother said she was prettier than you. Yet you're worried some stupid dating advice column gets cancelled? Wow, I said the wild past. I should have been the goddess of revenge. I didn't turn her into a tree, I hissed. The gods did that. Because you made her suffer unbearable lust for her own father. I smothered laughter. I was a genius. With the exploding popularity in daddy-daughter erotica, I could make a killing from her story. What happened to you? Drudgery of modern life. You can't talk. When was the last time you started a war that wasn't an RPG? Or did you get sick of your cannon refusing to fire? I smirked. His career deepened. I looked away from those dangerous eyes as memories of our passion-fueled nights haunted me. I risked everything to be with him, but like all men, the second the gods found out and it became difficult, he ran home to thrace. Then it was the same old story. He didn't want me, but didn't want anyone else having me either. Men were easier to read in squidgy Valentine books, and also went soggy in the water. Final Curtain is the third story featuring Trey and his other soul. Trey's progressed from still life art with his human mannequins to human puppets. And on the most romantic day of the year, his perfect couple will perform Romeo and Juliet. I carried him to the stage, placed a harness on him, then touched the wires. Romeo lay on his back, staring at the ceiling. I jogged up the stairs onto the gangway above the stage and pulled the wire attached to the harness. Romeo sat up. I eased him to his feet. The wire broke free from his wrist. Pain flared in his eyes as he crashed to his knees, his one arm dangling down, the other raised above his head. I stood him again, batting to keep him upright. It took so much strength I could barely move his limbs. I released him and he crumpled to the stage. It'd be easier if I could avoid paralysing your legs so you could support your own weight. It'd be easier for your people. Then again, uncooperative puppets were less hassle than stars who demanded diamond-encrusted toilet paper. I joined him on stage and steadied his legs. I could splint them, or rig him to a pole attached to the ceiling so his weight was supported. But that would restrict his movements. How did the Victorians pose their dead relatives for family portraits? The tears scraped his unblinking eye. Save your tears for the final act. I fetched wood from storage, measured Romeo's legs and made 2 splints. I secured his legs and feet to them, then examined the gash in his wrist. Why do you have such fragile skin? I marched to the storeroom and gathered more wire and a first aid kit. I cleaned up the blood and stitched the damage. The wire was nearly through the skin on the upper wrist. I bit my lip, drumming my fingers on my leg. I removed all the wire piercing his skin, tying it around his ears instead. It wasn't the effect I wanted, but unsightly wire was better than a collapsed puppet mid-performance. Lovecraft follows eternal romantic Tudor. He doesn't believe romance is dead, it just needs CPR. So he combines St. Women's Day with Valentine's Day. And each Valentine's he presents his girlfriend with a handmade love spoon, carved from the bones of his former lovers. Rian lay naked in the bathtub while I rinsed the blood from her body. I'd often fantasised about showering with her. I thought it'd be sexy, intimate. She said it was unhygienic and dangerous before revealing how many people were injured or killed from slipping in the shower. Nothing decimated anonymous mood quicker than statistics lecture. Ironically, she died in the bath. She would have appreciated being proved right. I shampooed Rian's hair, washing it until the water ran clear. I cut it then laid it on a towel before taking it into my spare room to dry under a heat lamp. It was surprising how much women paid to wear someone else's hair. I found it macabre, but it funded my petrol and a new pair of glasses. I told the optician I'd sat on them. Admitting the previous girlfriend broke them when I strangled her would have been a conversation killer. It had been 5 days since I'd slit Rian's throat. I don't like working on them immediately. It seemed code, like it meant nothing. It had been great at first. After dating fickle and free-spirited Kaylee, Rian was a welcome change. But after 3 months, she started gushing about marriage and kids and preferred looking at wedding dresses and potty training tips to Ann Summers' new saucy minx range. She pretty much threw baby powder on our flames of passion. I'm not exactly Father's Day material. The day I caught her fondling pink booties in the breast pump was the day she died. I'd used the bibs she brought to mop up the worst of the blood. Our final story is Heart-Shaped Box, and due to popular demand, Trey returns in a prequel. Broken-hearted after yet another lover tries to leave him, Trey now keeps their corpses, but love can't survive death. And then he meets James and finds a way to make James stay forever, until death do they part. It wasn't working. I was no different from Dr. Frankenstein trying to resurrect the corpse and pretending it had never died. So many times I had forced the relationship to continue long after it had expired. It was never the same. Even though he was still here, all the bits I'd loved about our relationship weren't. I didn't love him anymore. Not like this. I felt cheated. All those soppy romantic films and books that swear true love never dies were bollocks. Love couldn't survive death. There was no happy ever after. Happiness was a fleeting emotion like anger, lust and sadness, not a permanent state of paradise. If more people realised this, divorce rates would plummet and therapists would find themselves working in Tesco to pay the bills. I switched on the light and for the first time saw Kieran for how he really was, not for the way he had been. That's why most people stay in loveless marriages. They cling to the times when their partner was young, handsome and made an effort. They don't notice the slide into unattractiveness, the descent into habit. The deceitful eyes only allowed them to see into the past. But the past is just a photograph, a blurred still life image locked away in an album. The event forgotten except that one moment, captured forever. The man lying in my bed wasn't the man I fell in love with. His hazel eyes were dull and glassy. His toned body was becoming soft. His scent had changed from a seductive musk to a fetid odour. His flawless skin was marbled and green, and his decomp juices were soaking my bed sheets.